This is the Pete and Sebastian Show with Pete Correale and Sebastian Maniscalco.
Pete and Sebastian Show. I'm starting it off hot and heavy this time around. We're cooking here on the Pete and Sebastian Show. I feel like we're in studio at least once a day at this point.
It does. It feels like Robin and Howard, you know what I'm saying? I mean, every day.
Oh, God. So, we just did this podcast yesterday, and we covered a lot. So once we do these back to back, we're looking for lightning in a bottle, basically twice in less than 24 hours, which we all know.
This is how nervous I am. 2 pages of stuff I'm thinking. I don't even know if any of it's funny, but stuff to discuss. No, I'm with you, man. This is always a little nerve-wracking for us.
Yeah. But I want to start with something that's a little nuanced, and it happened to me yesterday upon flying back to Los Angeles from Mexico. Now, we took private air travel, right? And we're in Mexico. And I don't know if you feel this way anytime you travel, but anytime I give my passport in a foreign country, I always think I'm going to get a tap on the shoulder after they look at it and say, come with me.
I don't know what I think is going to happen, but every time someone's looking at my passport, my heart beats a little faster. It's never pleasant. Never
pleasant. And I would love to see what comes up on my profile that they're looking at, because I told you when I went, and this is years ago, I went in for global entry, which is the fast pass to get back into the United States. And the person who was interviewing asked me, do you want to tell me what happened in Montreal? And I'm like, what? Well, in 2007, do you want to tell me what happened at the airport in Montreal? I go, I have no idea what you're talking about. It says here in the notes that you tried to get into the United States with cured meats. So what had happened, I was at the Montreal Comedy Festival, and on the airplane, on the way back, it's a long flight, I had bought a sandwich at this Italian deli in Montreal, put it in my bag, and at security, they stopped me and they brought me into the agricultural section of the airport and confiscated my sandwich because they thought I was trying to bring in like super sod prosciutto into the United States. You can't bring cured meat from another country in the United States for just FDA purposes that might be, contaminated meat or whatever, right? But you could bring a virus in. But anyway,
yeah. And by the way, where's the human judgment call here? I mean, it's not like you got a slab of prosciutto. You know what I'm saying? Wrapped up. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I had an apple one time going into Montreal. Didn't even remember. I had it in my bag, and the dogs came up to me, and I purposely didn't fly with my hobby, if you know what I'm saying. So, and the dogs start sniffing me, and I'm looking at the security lady, whatever you call it, and she's like, come over here with me. I go, I don't have anything. I don't even know. And then she goes, open your bag. And I go like this, and I pull it out, and I go, an apple. And she goes, that's what it was, sir. And she goes, if that happens, I'm going to let you go this time, but that's like that's a $500 fine. And I'm like, for an apple. So they're hardcore there, and their dogs are on it.
Well, could you imagine what the dog's thinking during the training of all this when they're bringing out an apple and he's sniffing it for, recognition? He's got to be going. Even the dog's like, you had me sniffing cocaine last week.
That's That's what I'm saying. Is this a demotion? I mean, Jerry's still sniffing out heroin and crystal meth. I'm looking for bananas and apples? What the fuck? You think you see that as a demotion as a dog?
Oh, God. Already it's gold.
And you think, I wonder if they audition other type of dogs, like they got what do you call them spotted ones that are on the Dalmatian? They walk back and forth with that, like, nothing. This fucking thing, nothing. We got drugs laying all over the floor. I mean, that's another thing that scares me when I see those at the airport, even when I'm clean as a whistle.
Oh, God. I remember coming in from Italy, and we were going through customs, and I saw on the conveyor belt, and I think I might have mentioned this on an earlier cast, that they opened this guy's suitcase, and he had, like, bags of fish he was trying to bring. I was like, hey, this guy was bringing in sea bass from Greece. So anyway,
yeah. Did they give you that global pass? Did they still?
Yeah, they gave it to me, but they thought I was trying to be evasive about what had happened in Canada. I was like, I was hungry. I was bringing a sandwich on the plane. I was not trying to bring in illegal meats.
Right.
So I'm at this airport waiting for my passports to come back, and I have my family in the lobby of this kind of like it's like a private little airport lobby, and all over the walls is this guy, the same guy with all the celebrities that's come through that particular private FBO, right? Okay. As I'm looking, I'm like, Schwarzenegger's up there, The Rock, Eddie Van Halen, Kevin Hart. And then I'm looking at some, and I'm like, I don't recognize some people.
Right.
But I'd say there's 138 photos up there, if not more.
Yeah.
Okay, now, we talk about, the last cast when went to Milos, and you're like, the guy recognized me, and right. Yet I can't get recognized at my own tour on the lanyard, right?
yeah.
So Lana and I were goofing around, going, where's the guy that's taking all these photos with all these celebrities?
Right.
Did he look at the manifest and go, oh, Sebastian Maniscalco's coming out, I should be there for the photo, right?
Right. Now, is this guy American or Mexican?
He's looks like a local guy, right? Looks like a Mexican guy that either runs this thing or is affiliated with this thing in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Now, my question to you is, nobody came up to me, nothing, no photo, no nothing, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, in a way, you're like, all right, maybe the guy's on vacation, or you start to think maybe the guy don't know who I am.
What do you mean the guy's on vacation? Because you said the guy whose pictures are all on the wall is the same guy that took your passport.
No, different guy.
Oh, so he might not even be there. Oh, okay.
He might not even be there.
That's a big probably, but continue.
But what I'm saying is, I haven't reached the level of notoriety I think that you think I've reached, because there's multiple occasions like this situation that happens where I'm in the lobby going, nothing?
First of all, you should take that as a blessing to have such a huge following to sell out arenas, but yet still, go 2 blocks away from the arena and be able to get a Tom Collins with nobody bothering you. And number 2, which leads me nicely into what is the top of my notes, and this is for the listeners, and I don't lie, I wouldn't sugarcoat it. I saw an early cut of the trailer for Sebastian's new movie with De Niro. I couldn't even leave a voice message. I had to leave with my wife. I had to take my Walmart glasses off because I was watching TV at night. And me and Jackie left a video to tell you how great it was. I'm psyched for that. So that starts to separate all that film and TV, man. You'll see it more there. But, you know, I got to lean more towards the guy wasn't there, because if he has 138 on the wall, this guy is like, it's a hobby to him. I think he does a Google on the manifest of who's landing every day. He Googles every name to see who's who, even if he doesn't know.
I'm not even on the wall at my dry cleaners.
In L.A.?
Yeah.
Oh, right? Wow. This is wild. I love this kind of conversation because it's not even like, we're not even talking like doing a comedy club or even a theater. We're talking arenas. Come home. Hi, is Maniscalco, right? I get it. You're not on the wall, but are you at the level if you lost your ticket, would it be a problem finding your clothes? I mean, does he not even know you're the guy with the red leather?
Go back to the car and get your ticket, please.
Go back to the car. Well, I think you got to call your people and get this movie date release pumped up sooner.
So that's
anything yet on when that's coming out?
No idea when that's coming out yet. We're gonna do some reshoots. I gotta go back to Alabama, bro.
Back to Alabama. Come on, man. Listen, we need to get this out before something happens politically that makes De Niro go off the deep end again. Let's get this thing out while he's calm and in a good place, okay? I mean, if you guys wait too long, Trump's going to get reelected, and this thing ain't going to have a chance. He's going to be on The View dropping F-bombs. Forget it. Get it out.
Oh God, yeah, it's coming out. It's coming out this year, so we'll just see.
The very end of the trailer. Oh, all I'll say is the water scene. Oh man, so great, so great, very funny. Can't wait to see it.
Thanks, appreciate that. Last night we had a couple people over at the house. I mean, I gotta applaud the effort that Lana and I put into entertainment, as far as just got back from Mexico yesterday and we got people over.
It's unbelievable. I mean, you guys are, you guys like the social scene together. You like to entertain and hang out. I love that, man.
Yeah.
Hope you got something left in the tank next week. We're coming to pizza night. My friends are very psyched too, man.
All right. You're in for pizza night. That's Wednesday night here at the Maniscalco house. I was embarrassed this morning.
Why?
I got out of bed and literally there's a layer of skin on the sheets from the peeling.
Now, there's been times where I just couldn't help it, and I've passed some gas in the bedroom where I don't know how every woman doesn't just go lesbo. You know what I mean? It's just horrific sometimes laying next to a man. But to be coming out of your skin like a snake, just leaving a layer behind, that just takes the cake, because there's also gets hair in there. There's some hair mixed in with the peeled skin.
Okay, here's my question though.
Yeah.
And if Lou is around, this would be a Google that shit. Is it healthy every now and then to lose a layer of skin? With
a loofah brush in a warm tub, guy, not from getting blasted by Mexican sun with no SP, no lotion. I mean, you know that your body is healing. Your body thinks it was in a fire. That's what it's doing with like a burn victim. The skin's got to grow back.
So what I'm saying is the layer of skin that's coming off me.
Yeah.
Am I down a layer of skin right now?
Well,
or is that growing back?
Well, I bet you're thinking the new layer that's coming up doesn't have the wrinkles that the last layer had. It seems like it's a 30-year-old skin. Like, should we all be doing a light burn? You know, like someone makes plans with you, like, no, I'm going through a burn period. It like takes 2 weeks. You go under a lamp until you burn. Once you start to bubble, then you get out of there. You're wrapping gauze. You don't move for like 2 weeks. You come out, you look like you're fucking 30 years old.
That's what I'm saying.
You might be on to something, bro. You might be on to something. It's a very delicate dance, though. You stay in there too long, and, well, you know. I don't have to spell it out for you.
I know, man. So that's what I woke up to this morning. It was just, it wasn't a good scene at all.
So when the people were over last night, and this, because I got to ask this, I can't handle emotionally being told, when I'm at someone's house, being told, oh, we're going to call it a night, or even if I hint that they're trying to get me out, that devastates me. So I always leave before that happens. This thing starts at 4:30, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to. So when at least when it gets down to like anyone who's not staying at the home overnight, when it gets down to like the last person who has to drive out to, that's when I make sure I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you don't really. I did this last night, but I did it in a joking way.
They didn't take it that way. All right, let me hear it.
Here, this was what happened. They called an Uber, and the Uber wasn't coming. And I'm like, Dom, I said, Dom, what's going on with the Uber? And he goes, I don't know, they're not coming. I go, cancel it, and then do another one, right? So he's working the Uber. And it got to the point in the night where you could just tell it's over, right? It's over. Like he was yawning. He was yawning, the guy with the Uber. And I said, all right. I said, it's over. And they're like, yeah, no. I go, no. I said, start walking to the gate. Like, oh. But it was done in like a sarcastic way. Yeah. But it had an undertone of like, we need to go,
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but we all knew the thing was done though.
But
he was dying to get out of there. It'd be like you dying to get out, and you're like lingering.
But he can't make the Uber come. So what else can he do? It's on its way, right?
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes, but it's like, all right, like meet him out by the gate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If it's on its way, yeah, you should already be making your way out the driveway, holding it up to see where he is on the thing. I love that one. Sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? Fucking donuts, guy? Come on. He's just spinning. I'm like, what are you doing? It's a stop sign. I know where you are. It's not even a red light. What are you doing? A hit?
Oh God. So no, don't worry about leaving or whatnot. I don't even know how many people are coming to this thing, but as of now, I think it's around 12. So yeah, that's on Wednesday. Man, I tell you, man, I went this morning, took the kids to gymnastics, right? Yeah. I gotta get your take on this. Caruso's almost 3 years old, so under 3, you need a parent to kind of go through the gymnastics class.
Right.
So, they could help him on the thing or whatever.
Caruso's almost 3?
Almost 3 in June.
All right.
So there's about 5 kids in the class, and all dads this week. Last week it was moms and me. Mm-hmm. This week's it's all dads, and the teacher is like starting off the class, and she's like, all right, everybody, hop, hop, hop. So the kids are supposed to hop. Now, the dads are hopping, right? So they're hopping like this. And I'm looking at it, and I go, there's no way you could look cool doing a hop.
No. Yeah. I was in church this morning for Palm Sunday. I don't even pray out loud. That's not cool. When everyone else does the Our Father, nothing. Lips don't even move. My daughter's always like, Dad, do it. I'm like, I'm here. That's my contribution. I'm here. You're there. Bro. You're there. They make you hop. Come on. Did you not hop? Are you the only one?
Here's another move at church that I don't do.
Yeah.
I take the body of Christ. I let it melt in my mouth. You don't even know. Like on the way back to my seat, I ain't chewing, bro. When I come back, people are looking at me. They're going, "Did he get the body of Christ?" Like they don't even know.
That's a class move, man. Because that's yeah. Go ahead.
Do you do the chew on the way back to the seat?
I do the melt because that's the only time I do a true prayer. I mean, I'm into church. I go and I'm grateful. But as far as praying, I don't pray when the priest says, "Now we pray now." I do one when I get the body of Christ, and I let it melt while I'm praying. So by the time I'm wrapping up the prayer, it's like at a full melt. Sit back, boom. I'll get to that in a minute, though. I was in church, and I got a few things about that. But
no. Stick on the church vibe because I got a couple other moves I used to do. I don't go to church anymore, but when I used to go to church, when you kneel, you go to the kneel.
Yeah.
Do you do a full straight back kneel or do you rest your ass on the edge of the pew?
I do the full straight back. However, because it is tiring, man. And sometimes I see older people doing the full straight back. I'm like, how are you doing that, man? But then if I feel like it's taking too long, I'll go to the ass. But here's the one that bothers me. Once you get the body of Christ, because that's the big kneel one is you kneel, wait for your row, and then you get the body, you come back, you pray, and you keep kneeling until everybody's got the body, everybody's done, and then the priest starts back up. I don't do that. When I'm done praying with the body, I sit back. I'm done. I feel like that's like a little break in church, a little 2-minute break while everyone else is getting the body.
Oh, yeah. No, good. I used to wait till everybody went back in their seat, and then you would hear the kneel rests pop up, right? Everybody pops up to kneel.
Yeah.
I never tried that move. If I ever go back to church, I think that's a move I'll implement. But here's another move. On the way to get the body of Christ, are your hands folded like this, or is one hand over the other hand near your crotch? You know, like how do you walk up there?
One hand over my other hand, like this, right? By the crotch, like you're saying. And because it's small town, giving the head bop nods to guys and people I know. Small town church. Last week, I ran into a buddy of mine, Ziff, in the lobby, and I go, we're talking about hoops or something, and I go, with the local something, and I go, what the fuck is with the, and then I go like that. In the lobby of church, I dropped an F-bomb. God don't mind it. I don't think God, when you get to heaven, whatever heaven you believe in, I think that God's like, I didn't even mind the cursing. I don't know who made that shit up.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So we were in there, and I got to ask you a question. I am such a hypocrite in this certain capacity where I'll judge people and I'll say stuff about them to my wife, and then like I'll do the same thing. I can't tell. Like perfect example today. I'm in church. I got the palm. I don't even know if I've ever happened to be there on Palm Sunday before. I got that long palm. So Jackie always sits in between me and Sadie because church is so ragingly boring that me and Sadie mess with each other at some point, So I'm taking my palm. She was doing it first, but I'm taking my palm and I'm going around Jackie while the priest is doing his thing, and I'm trying to get it in Sadie's ear, and she's laughing, and Jackie's going, "Cut it out, it's church," So I put it down. I tell Sadie, cut it out. And then like 5 minutes later, we all have to stand. And I look across the church, and there's a woman. She's got like 3 boys, and then there's the dad on the other end. All the boys have long hair, but long to the level where, you know, I let him do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And the one boy's got to be like 13, maybe 12. I'll give you 12. He's not standing. Everybody else is standing. He's taking his palm and he's sitting in the aisle seat and he's just kind of hitting it against the thing. And I'm looking over at Jackie and I go, you see the kid not standing? And she's like, Pete, I go, it's driving me nuts, Jack. It's driving me nuts. And then she's not saying that. And then I look back over at Jackie and I go, I just want to walk over there and be like, and she goes, you're in church, leave it alone. And then like 10 minutes later, he's reaching around trying to touch his brother, and his brother's reaching around trying to touch him. And then the mother laughs and like hugs him. And I go to Jackie, look at that. Look at that. You see that shit? You see that shit? And she goes, you were just sticking the palm in Sadie's ear.
It's different, man.
It is different.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. There was behavior prior to him screwing around with the palm at his other brother that indicated to you the kid's got no respect because he's sitting down and he's playing with the palm on the floor. Then he puts the palm in his brother's ear.
No palm. They were just doing tag.
Whatever they were doing.
Worse. Yeah.
They were doing tag. If you would have just saw the tag alone, you would have got upset.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's also the way they handle themselves. It's the way they sit, the way they look.
Right.
You start analyzing. Okay, okay, put it this way.
You're right.
If it was Caruso, 10 years old, and he's in a suit, and he came and he's got beautiful hair and a line and the thing beautiful. You go, the kid knows what's going on. And if he happened to like slap his brother, you go, look at that, that's a gay. But the way this is looking, from the long hair to the hugs to the whole thing, it all adds to how we process the behavior, because we're looking at it all, right?
Right. You're right, because the way I'm looking at it was when Sadie and I were like trying to get each other with the palm, you're doing it discreetly, and you know it's church and you know it's not right. These kids are just playing like, oh, we got to mess around in here for 40 minutes and then we go misbehave somewhere else. They had no respect for any of the shit going on. And I tell you, my kid is gonna eat those kids up and spit them out when they get older. All these kids that like... Listen, I know all of our listeners are fantastic parents. We're collectively talking about the other ones. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Softies.
Yeah. And I guarantee you, the people behind you in the pews behind you, when you were doing that to Sadie, they were laughing. You know, like...
I like to think so, but they're probably at home going right now about me. He's doing that with his kid. The hell, yeah. I mean, no. I feel like it's a little different too. And then I want to ask you this, because you used to be an altar boy, right? I guess because it's Palm Sunday, the priest comes around at the beginning with he's dipping the water and hitting us all with it, and I got one of those light puff jackets on. You know, I forget what they're called. You know. So when it hits my jacket, and it was great too, because right before he reached me, he dipped back in. So I looked over at Jackie. I'm like, oh, we're gonna get a nice one here, you know, maybe because I was getting the first flick off of the dip. So and it all hit my jacket like just holy water. If I was a vampire, I would have melted right fucking there. You know what I'm saying? And Jackie reached over and started wiping it off of my jacket and rubbing it in her hands, and then wiping more off my jacket and rubbing it on Sadie's face. Oh, God, we were bathing in it, guy. Oh. I feel like the priest is like, it's fucking Dasani. I dumped it in a half hour ago.
I would have saw that, right? Now, if I was at the church, I would have tapped Lana and I would have said, "Look at these idiots. They think it's real."
Why? That's what I'm saying. You used to be an altar boy. What makes it holy? Does the priest hit it with a boom?
Nah, the thing and the prayer or whatever. And then
what's the whatever? I mean, can he just blast anything with the cross and now it's blessed, or does he have to say stuff to it as well?
Listen, I wasn't piped in at what the priest was saying over the holy water. All right, I just knew I had to ring the bells. It's 45 minutes into the damn thing.
I wasn't piped in.
So,
like, I wonder if you know a priest, like, could he be like, listen, normally with the holy water, I give it a little lisp, but I want to give you a bottle. I hit this thing for like 45 minutes. I was crying to this bucket. You know, this is the holiest of holy water. You got a sick pet? Put this in the dog bowl. You won't even need to take it to the vet, right?
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for holy water that actually does something, right? I'm looking for take this bottle of holy water home.
Yeah.
And rub it on your shoulders. It won't peel anymore.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, I'm listening today because there's nothing else to do. I'm listening to the whole how it played out with Jesus the week before Easter, and like he's got all these guys together, and the soldiers are there that maybe want to take him away, and one of the soldiers slices one of the other guy's ear off. And Jesus turns around and heals the guy's ear and then says to everybody calm down, right? Now, I mean, how in that moment does everybody not just drop the sword to go get a drink? I mean, so my point is, I want water that does that. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I want. I'm looking for holy essentia water. They got to come out with a brand. I'm surprised the church hasn't branded their own water.
Well, see, I'm wondering now, you're bringing up something. At the Vatican, do you think that the people, like the main priests living in the Vatican, only drink holy water?
Well, is the holy water coming from the tap? Or do you think they got a bottle of Fiji that they're throwing in and he blesses it? Is it bottled water? That's what I'm asking.
I'd like to think it could come from the Gowanus Canal in the Bronx, but once they do that, it may as well be flowing right off of the Himalayas into your cup. You know what I'm saying, bro? Can't you filter water with a hard blessing if you're like the Pope? Fuck, it's good. You can drink it now. I don't need to boil it? Nah, I gotta boil nothing. So that would be awesome if the Pope had like those kind of powers.
I know.
I see this guy in the news now. Even I zone him out. He's like, the Pope says, next article.
So let me ask you this on the water deal. Yeah, I mean, if the Vatican came out with their own brand, right? Vatican water. And it's just got like
every drop has been hit, but like the Pope goes up to huge vats, right? Like a winery, and just boom, boom, just goes down to each one, boom, hits them all.
Well, speaking of the wine, in church, are they still offering the wine? And then the priest or whoever wipes it with a napkin.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, are they still doing that?
Still doing it. Well, they weren't during the pandemic. He was, but he wasn't sharing it. I don't think he's sharing it yet again. But, yeah.
Okay, I want to get back onto this gymnastics.
Yeah. Are there other boys?
Girl, boy. Girl, yeah. Okay, yeah. 2 boys, 2 girls, and Caruso. 3 fathers. And the fathers are hopping up and down. I go the other way with it. While they're hopping, I'm standing and I'm looking. I go, there's no way I'm doing this. And Caruso, he's looking at them going, there's no way I'm doing this.
I like it.
So I sit down, bro.
I'm telling you, that stuff, you don't think your kid knows. He gets all these thoughts. My dad, it's cooler. It's cooler. He notices.
I thought he noticed, and as soon as I sat down, he came over to me and tackled me. He just came in, just gave me a hug, like a bear hug, and I went backwards, right? Now I'm wrestling with him. This is in the middle of the class.
Right.
I pull him over. I got my mouth in his neck, and I'm like blowing on him, and he's like hitting my head. In the moment, I felt the men that were hopping. This is what I wanted them to feel.
Right.
I wanted them to feel like, wow, it's what I should be doing, right? Like, you ever around other dads? We don't have a son, so it's different. But it could be something with Sadie where you're doing something and you're hoping the other dad's going, oh, I would love to do that with my daughter. This
guy's breaking the rules. I'm seeing something bigger here though, and I'm glad it went that route, because I remember a few years, maybe 2 years ago or a year ago, when he was first started doing the gymnastics, you were saying it's a lot of tumbling and jumping around, and it's good for him. I remember you saying that, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain age, though, where, boy stops doing gymnastics unless there's a bigger conversation we got to have. And I like the fact that Caruso's almost coming in. That's why I asked at the age. He's almost about 3. You sit down, he tackles you. And I think the gymnastics coach is looking over me. Time to take this alpha male shit and go find another sport. All right? Because this is Bro. Clearly, yeah.
Yeah, no, I left the gymnastics, and I told Lana, I go, we're signing him up for Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
There you go, baby. Yes. I mean, we tumbled our way till 3. Now it's time to man up. Listen, I get the gymnastics. The guys are strong and they can kick my ass. I get all that, but it's my kid. You want to come see my kid do the rings on Saturday? I'm a dick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh, no, but the bigger question here is, I gotta tell you, I'm one of these guys too that opens up the conversation, and I go to the guys as we're there. You go, did your father ever come to gymnastics with you?
Nice. I like that. I like that.
And you know what I got back from this guy?
What?
He goes, well, I didn't have a father growing up.
Yeah.
No, that guy. What's your take
on that comment? Right?
Yeah.
God, this is more fascinating to me than the slap on the Oscars. And I got to tell you, are you dying to say to him, why'd you tell me that? Why did you tell me that? Like, because I don't know. I feel like he's taking it to a place that we're having a little banter here. All you needed to do was laugh and go, I hear you.
Okay. So if you didn't have a father growing up and somebody said, did your father do this with you? You think you would just respond and go, nah, he didn't? Or do you think you got to dive into, I didn't have a father? And
I'm telling you, you obviously saying it to be funny. So you have to do is go, I know, I hear you, right? I've never been to this stuff before when I was a kid. That's it. You're not gonna go, what did you do with your father? That's it. That we're done. That was just a little slide in.
Yeah, so I felt like this guy, the next step of this conversation, he wanted me to go, what happened to your dad?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you what you would say.
Didn't even go there. I go, oh, sorry. You know?
That's kind of going there, bro.
I mean, it's not. I mean, this guy wanted to get into it. I could tell he wanted his father died, or his father passed away, or
even that,
whatever.
Even that, it's a Sunday afternoon, morning, Saturday morning, whenever it is. Yeah, I'm saying sorry to a guy who's an adult who didn't have a dad. Well, how did we get to this? You know what I mean?
I know. I'm like, guy, I'm here just to pass the time and wrestle with my kid. That's it.
Man. So, and by the way, is he saying like, he wishes he did have a dad to take him?
I don't know. You know what? After that, I'm like, all right. So I go over, and there's like a balance beam, and then they go to the rings or whatever. And I don't know if you feel this way when Sadie's around other kids, but all the fathers are helping their sons. They got a hand, and they're going across the beam, and they're holding onto the father's hand. I'm just sitting there on a mat like this going, come on, big man. Come on. No hand, no nothing. If he falls, he falls.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to teach him that, in life, if you fall, you get back up on the beam. Nobody's going to help you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, do you think at almost 3, these lessons are penetrating this kid's big head? Or do you think I'm so far off with all this that it don't matter?
No, I think it's a little both. I don't think all of it's penetrating him in the sense that like everything you say is picking up, but he's picking up the overall sense that this guy's going to be up my ass until I get out of the house. You know what I mean? I can't even do the balance beam without him down on one knee going, you got this. So you gotta stop though comparing what you're doing to other parents and just do your thing like you do with stand up, like you always have. You never worried about what anyone else is doing.
No, man. I'm sorry. I'm doing it because this is the only way I know how to parent, but I'm also doing it a little bit more when other people are watching. Right. So that father absorbs what I'm doing and raises his kid properly. Bro, right. I'm trying to affect families one by one so they see the proper way.
You're trying to set an example, and I respect that. Now I see what you're doing. And I can speak to that because, like, me and Sadie play hoops every day in the driveway, and people will walk by, and sometimes you'll see parents walk by, and I feel like when they look down my driveway, they think they're, like, looking back to 1975. Is that a parent, a dad playing hoops with the kid? It's just you don't see this kind of – everyone's doing the computers now and whatnot, so – I see what your point is about trying to show everybody else, but
how to do it. I mean,
they're all going to do it their own way.
I know, but
I just say it to Sadie, like when I'm playing with her, and then I go, I got to go in and take a break. Come on, Dad. I just said the other day, I've been playing with you for 2 hours. You know how many other dads are playing with their kid right now? None of them. Meanwhile, I'm sure they're all out doing shit with their kid. But I'm saying that anyway.
And here's another thing I got a problem with. I don't know if we discussed this last time, but if you got a kid that's hocking up phlegm, you don't bring him to the activity. Right? Like,
I mean, it's a tough call. Like, the kid wakes up, they got dry mouth, they need a glass of water. Like, you can't leave him home forever. How bad was it?
It was so bad when this girl jumped into the ball pit. Snot was so prevalent that it flew off the nose, right? And it looked like a helicopter of snot coming into the ball pit. Now, I got the type of luck where my son is next, right? And my son jumps right into where the snot landed on the ball, right? Now it's on him. That's what I'm saying.
That's good for him, though. Building it up that your boy could probably walk naked down Main Street in Wuhan. Nothing. I'm telling you, man. That's why you want to get him young. Expose him to all that young, man. God. Get him in there. Get him in there. Roll around in that Caruso. I'm telling you. Don't get in my car, but roll around in that shit. I know, bro. You got to do a cartoon someday about you when you were a kid, but you have the mentality now. So you're like an 8-year-old boy in a nice button shirt going, everybody's jumping in the ball pit. There's shit all over. It's a petri dish in there.
It's what I'm saying. My kid comes, and I got to give credit to Lana here. Comes in a beautiful, nice sweatpants, little tank top. Hair is done, right? He's got a beautiful glow from Mexico, right?
He ain't peeling. Well, he's got. She loads him up with the SPF.
He ain't peeling, but he's got a beautiful. He looks like a cup of cappuccino. That's the color this kid's at. And he's
like if you drafted male models before they were adults, like he'd be drafted. He's a handsome kid, man. He's gonna be doing Aramis commercial. I'm telling you.
So he comes in looking like this, and every other kid I see there looks like shit, bro. I'm sorry. Hair, bedhead. I gotta even tell you this, and I'm sorry, it's my own son, but I would tell you if I saw Caruso anywhere, his bedhead is better than 99% of the kids' real hairdos. Now, I got the worst bedhead. The worst. I had it when I was a kid. Like, if I got out of bed, I would have to do that reset that we always talk about, right? Because my hair was all over the place. Caruso gets out of bed, and I'll just like muss his hair a little bit, and it's fine. He's ready to play, right?
He's ready to go. Yeah. Well, I know, man. It's we were at the bus stop the other day, and a kid came up to the bus stop, and he goes, "Why is everybody in jeans?" My daughter and the other girl. And in my head, I'm like, "Because they're going to school." Like, he's in sweats.
Yeah.
By the way, when we get to your house, when I introduce Sadie to your family, I'm practicing. So I may be introducing Sadie, Jackie and I, as our niece. And her name is Violet, because we have a Vax card for her from a friend that says her name is Violet and a different last name. So we're going to go to restaurants with Sadie, and she's our niece, and we're taking her out to dinner. Yeah.
Oh, is that beautiful?
So then if they go, "Do you have ID?" I'm like, "She's 8 years old. What do you think she carries around a wallet?
Right.
Come on, she's my niece. We're out for a taco. What's the problem? Let us in." So there you go.
You don't need a vaccine card to travel, do you?
Not to travel, no, but we know in LA it might get a little dicey at certain places. So a friend of ours lent us the card. We had it made, photocopied it. Yeah, hopefully that'll work out.
Let me ask you this. I'm trying to situate accommodations here for the Correale family. Now, I have a bedroom upstairs, right?
Yeah.
And then next to that bedroom, it's like a school. Like we set up like a school. Normally it's a bedroom, but it's like a school for Serafina and when she was taking class and whatnot.
Right.
And then there's the guest house. So it's that room that you stayed in, right? Remember the room that you stayed in?
Yeah.
But then there's a guest house, which is out by the gym. My question to you is, do you want Sadie in the same room as you guys?
Yeah, in a place like your house, the size of it, it would be too annoying. She'd be like, definitely. She'd be in
Or do you want her in the next room? Because that's a possibility. I mean, she could have her own room. It's just right next to you.
Right. That's awesome. But no, I appreciate it, but I don't think she'd use it. But thanks. Whatever. We'll all go pack in wherever you want us. No problem, man.
I know, but what I'm saying is if she's going to go in the same room as you,
Yeah.
you need like an air mattress in there.
If you have one,
Right?
that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. No problem.
Perfect. Is that the room? Am I getting a room with the glass floor in the terrace?
No. It's the other room, or you guys could take the guest house.
Nah. Well, wherever you want us. Whatever. is
I'm
easiest
just
for
telling
you.
you. Listen, I'll show you what's available, and you choose.
Man, all right. Well, the guest house. Last time I was there, I thought that was a classroom when I was.
Yeah,
working,
but
right?
now it's a bedroom.
Oh wow, man. That's
If I were you, I'd stay out there, but
right.
it's up to you.
all right. Well, I'll see you on pizza night. But yeah, I'll probably do that then. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Wow. So we'll have. Thanks for having us, man. We're really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. All right, let's tie this up
Right.
with a George Washington similarity. If you got one.
I do. I don't even need the book. I have it written down. It's from page 806. This one, first of all, I've told you everything from had the noise thing like you, loved to throw parties like you. This one blew my mind. I know I told you this one. He was an incredibly reserved guy. And all these guys back then, from James Madison to Jefferson, you know, they all knew what they were doing was huge. So they all wrote these incredible papers and diaries and stuff. It's the only way it's all going to be remembered. So it's amazing how you're reading about what Jefferson was saying about Washington that Washington didn't know he was saying about him at the time, you know, because they're all dead now. And every one of them was like, the guy doesn't speak until he knows exactly what he wants to say. He never has to retract anything. If you upset him or something, he won't say you're out of my life. He'll just shut you down. Like you'll never have contact with him again, which is just like you. This one now is becoming more to light, which is amazing, and it drove Washington a bit crazy. But he lived in this house out in Mount Vernon, and he could never get to it. He first, it was 8 years as in the war. I mean, all those years in the war, and then 8 years in the presidency, and he just wanted to get back to Mount Vernon. When he finally got back there, it's like back then it took a lot of winding roads. It wasn't an easy place to get to. So when you got to where he lived, you were going there specifically to get to his house. And back then, they didn't turn back away any visitors. So if you made the trek to Washington's house, he would have dinner with you. And he would entertain you. And then as he got older, he'd go to bed a little earlier. But anyone who came to his house, and one guy tells a story about who was real close to Washington, and they just got back from like hunting, and they were wearing like whatever kind of clothes. And then someone showed up that wanted to hang out with them, and someone that Washington knew well from back in the. He goes, "Oh yeah, one moment," and he goes, Washington leaves, comes back a half hour, full uniform, tight gloves, everything. Sits with the guy, chats for an hour and a half. Guy leaves, goes back up, comes back down in the outfit he was hanging with his friend with earlier. Like, just always knew, like, keep it classy, right? So he would always have, like anyone go, you're having people over every night. That one blew me away. So here's the last one. Oh, and by the way, with the reserve thing, like, you don't speak until you know what you want to say. It's you know that about you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm starting to read John Adams' book. He was the vice president, and now he became the president right after Washington. And the book opens up with a thing that he says, saying, my biggest flaw is I talk too much. Everyone always says I talk too much when fewer words will do. I was always impressed with Washington, who didn't speak until he knew exactly what he wanted to say. Bro, I'm looking at this going, am I about to read about me now? What the fuck? I read about you, now I'm about to read about me.
Oh my God, bro. This was like Pete and Sebastian show before it was even Pete.
So the last thing with Washington, they said on page 806, like I said, he had high anxiety about making sure all his affairs were tight and in order when he passed away. He felt that was as important of a representation of the kind of man he was, that everything be tight. And then when he died, so that's big time like you.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he died, they put him in a vault at Mount Vernon. And they said it was almost like this easy bake oven because, back then it was mostly wood and stuff. So through years, people would come visit and it would start to deteriorate and you could see into the coffin, like not into the coffin, but you could see through the vault and see the coffin. And people started ripping the purple lining from the inside of the coffin. They'd like grab where it's coming out and they were ripping it and taking little pieces of it as souvenirs. They were reaching their hand in there. So eventually they said it was getting really disrespectful. Like people were like, if we let it go a few more months, they probably would have just started prying open the coffin and taking bones, so they had to do. And I got to tell you, Washington, if he's looking down, he was like, oh God, what the fuck are they doing to my coffin right now? But bro, I'm telling you, man, you got a lot of George Washington in you, man.
Do you know when he was born?
Where or when?
When, like what sign he is, or like?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know his
birthday is.
I think it might be December, but no, I don't remember that.
To look that up to see if we share the same sign. Maybe it's a sign thing.
Yeah, man. Great book though. Great book.
What's the book called again?
A Life. George Washington. A Life.
A Life.
Yeah. Great book.
There you have it, people. You don't get this type of review on a George Washington book on any other cast. You got to come to the Pete and Sebastian show. Pete will be here this week. We have some surprises in store for our Patreon listeners, so go to the Patreon page to keep up with us there. Got to thank everybody here for listening to the Pete and Sebastian show, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
All right, bro. I'll see you, man.